From the Massachusetts Broadcasters Station of the Year, this is Western Mass News at 6 p.m.
It has certainly been a gloomy and rainy Thursday. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Western Mass News at 6. I'm Chris Pisano.
And I'm Beth Warder, as we like to call it, Friday Eve. Let's go right to meteorologist Janna Brown. Janna, Chris said it, a gloomy day out there today.
Yeah, but you know what? We've been kind of spoiled this past week. We had some pretty nice weather to start the week off, but today was our day where we got our rain, but at least it's gone for tonight. And then as we head into the weekend, we go back to some pretty decent weather. Right now, we do have scattered showers, especially as you head east of 91. So I want to zoom into some of the heavier rain right now, right along and north of the Mass Pike through Ludlow, Chicopee, and down into West Springfield right now, where you're seeing some pretty decent rainfall. And then farther off to the north in Franklin County, Irving, right there along Route 2, seeing some healthy rain here as well. So we're going to end up seeing some decent rainfall amounts today, but it's still scattered in nature because, of course, it is still summertime. So not everybody gets the really good beneficial rain today, but it looks like the heaviest rain is going to start moving out pretty soon, actually, and our cold front will be coming in later this evening. In fact, the skies are getting a little bit brighter in spots right now. We're at 75 in Springfield, 73 dew point. So it is humid outside for sure. That's something that's going to linger this evening. We'll eventually get a break for tomorrow, but we've got middle 70s here across the board. Dew points are in the lower to middle 70s for everybody. The lower dew points, the comfortable air, is still back in northern Vermont. So we're going to have to go through the evening feeling pretty gross outside. Showers will come to an end, maybe 1 or 2 through about 9 or 10 o'clock, and then we're mostly cloudy overnight. By tomorrow morning, we should dip to around 60 as the sun comes up, but clouds will be decreasing. Humidity, dew points will probably be around 60 as well, so it'll still feel kind of muggy to start the day off. And then dew points will drop off drastically as we head into the afternoon. By the end of the day, Friday, it's going to be gorgeous. We'll have sunshine, lower 70s, much less humid with dew points in the 40s and a nice breeze out of the north. And that sets us up to start off with a gorgeous beginning to the weekend, but we could see more rain by later Sunday. We'll take a look at that in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Janna, thanks. More than a dozen COVID-19 vaccines are currently being developed worldwide in an effort to curb the pandemic.
Well, tonight we get insight from a top medical leader here in Western Mass after one vaccine manufacturer halted testing earlier this week when one participant developed neurological symptoms.
And Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo joins us live in Springfield with more. Audrey.
I spoke with the chief medical officer at Mercy Medical Center, who says that this shouldn't be seen as a stumbling block, but rather a necessary part of vaccine development. AstraZeneca halting their progress in the race for a COVID-19 vaccine after a participant in their trial developed symptoms consistent with transverse myelitis, a rare but severe neurological condition involving inflammation of the spinal cord. Chief Medical Officer of Mercy Medical Center, Robert Roos, tells Western Mass News this shouldn't deter people hoping to one day get the vaccine.
This is not a sign of defeat of the process. This is exactly what the process is intended to do.
The head of the Food and Drug Administration says the agency is prepared to bypass the full federal approval process to make a COVID vaccine available as quickly as possible. However, FDA Commissioner Stephen Hahn also insisted the decision will be made based on science, not politics. Roos says the final trials can be some of the most critical as they test a vaccine against a large cross-section of different people.
It is important that we let the vaccines go through the rigorous scientific process to demonstrate safety and effectiveness to tens of thousands of people before bringing them to approval.
States have been instructed to get ready for a large-scale vaccine rollout by November 1st, but Roos believes that's for preparation purposes only.
We want to be ahead of the curve in terms of preparing about how we would do something, but I think it remains to be seen on whether or not we will have a safe and effective vaccine in the timeline that's been discussed.
As for how local hospitals should prepare to receive any COVID vaccines in the works,
that information has not yet trickled down to us.
several other vaccine manufacturers are continuing their trials, including Massachusetts-based Moderna. Reporting live in Springfield, Audrey Russo for Western Mass News.
Audrey, thank you for that live report. And here's a quick look at today's numbers of COVID-19 cases. 365 new cases being reported in Massachusetts, bringing the total number to 121,759. And there were also 20 more deaths reported today. The statewide death toll stands at 8,957. And for more coverage on the coronavirus pandemic as it develops, log on to our free Western Mass News streaming app. Now to an exclusive story you'll see only here on Western Mass News.
Discarded hypodermic needles found in communities across Western Mass. One local man is going around on his own picking up the needles in an effort to keep everybody safe.
Western Mass News reporter Briseida Landaverde caught up with that man today.
Searching the waterways of Chicopee, Holyoke, and Springfield, I found quite a few needles.
Just in the last month, Rich Jones, a Chicopee resident, has collected about 160 used hypodermic needles found discarded in communities across Western Mass. Jones tells Western Mass News he returns to the same parks and streets routinely and finds needles regularly. A member of the nonprofit organization Make MA Fishing Spots Great Again, Jones has extended his mission to keep fishing and swimming spots clean to include parks and neighborhoods.
This group is not about any controversy having to do with addicts, homelessness, or anything else. This is all about awareness. It's all about keeping our children and our families safe, keeping our environment clean so that everybody can enjoy it. And this group can't stop and won't stop.
And Jones tells me just today he found 20 needles at the Springdale Park in Holyoke, right in this area.
I find the needles, I go and sift through the brush with a stick and with my needle-resistant gloves and just kind of pick up needles. A lot of them are buried under leaves that have been there for years. A lot of them are fresh that have been used over the past 2 weeks.
After collecting the needles, Jones hands them over to Tapestry, which offers health services in the community. Amy Davis, the Director for Marketing and Communications at Tapestry in Springfield, tells Western Mass News anyone like Jones who finds needles like this can contact them.
It's a hotline. Folks can call 24/7, leave a message where the syringes are located, and a Tapestry staff member will be out to collect the syringes within 24 to 36 hours.
Syringes can also be dropped off at any Tapestry harm reduction location.
So anywhere where we do syringe access prevention, and we have a site in Holyoke, in Greenfield, in Northampton, in Chicopee.
As a community member, Joan urges everyone to be aware of their surroundings.
Not a lot of people know how many needles are actually out there or pay attention to the trash that's on the river.
For Western Mass News, I'm Briseida Landaverde.
We're following breaking news this evening out of Springfield as Pope Francis Preparatory School says they have a student who's been diagnosed with COVID-19. In an email sent to parents, head of the school, Paul Harrington, says the student hasn't been on campus in the past 6 days, and there's no indication that they contracted the virus at school or at a school-sponsored event. Harrington says the school is following state protocols, which includes contacting close contacts of the students. While Springfield Public Schools have yet to return to class, Pope Francis opened its doors back on August 27th. They're using social distancing as well as other safety measures.
Turning now to a health alert, a mosquito sample in Holyoke has tested positive for the West Nile virus on September 2nd. The mosquito was trapped in the southwest quadrant of Holyoke, according to the Department of Public Health. It was collected and identified through the Pioneer Valley Mosquito Control District. Now, the West Nile virus is most commonly transmitted to humans by the bite of an infected mosquito. While the virus can infect people of all ages, people over the age of 50 are at a higher risk of severe infection. And the Massachusetts Department of Public Health announcing 4 additional human cases of West Nile virus in the Bay State this year. That brings the total number of cases to 7. 3 of the 4 cases were exposed in Middlesex County, 1 in Bristol County.
A change to the state's COVID-19 reopening plan. Governor Charlie Baker today announced indoor and outdoor arcades will be allowed to reopen as soon as next Thursday.
Well, that means folks can get their skee ball on, which is good news for at least one local business owner.
Western Mass News reporter Leon Purvis is live inside of Pinn's Arcade in the Hampshire Mall with more. Leon?
Chris, we took a look inside of Pinn's Arcade and they are already getting ready to be set up when they reopen. Now, when we took a look inside, we saw that there were dividers, there was skee ball, there was Halo, and there was, DC superheroes. But originally, arcades couldn't reopen until phase 4, but these arcade owners are excited about the good news. Pins in Hadley shut its doors back in March when the coronavirus began to sweep the state. So it's been about 6 months since folks have been able to play skee-ball, DC Superheroes, or Halo at the Hampshire Mall. But for David Breen, co-owner of Pins Entertainment, it's been a struggle. Breen owns a total of 5 different arcade locations, 3 in the Bay State, 1 in New Hampshire, and 1 in upstate New York. Out of those 5 locations, 400 employees went down to 64. He tells Western Mass News his business suffered a total loss of more than $7 million. So when they do reopen, he knows he can't make that up. Just a day before Governor Charlie Baker gave the green light for arcades to reopen, Breen and a group of other arcade operators banded together to get a message to the governor that they were getting ready to sue.
And we told them that we would be filing a lawsuit as of yesterday. We were going to file a lawsuit in Suffolk Superior Court, and we sent them the lawsuit ready to be filed, the governor's office. The governor's office, I think, took notice.
Breen says although they can reopen next Thursday, they're going to wait until other parts of the Hampshire Mall opens up. But for now, I'm going to go practice my skee ball. Live in Hadley, Leon Purvis, Western Mass News.
The New England Patriots just days away from their home opener. I'm Kayla Burton. Coming up on Western Mass News, I'll tell you how new starting quarterback Cam Newton is gearing up.
And later, across the border in Connecticut, hundreds of athletes and coaches protested to play football this fall. More of those details straight ahead.